Hello and welcome to the Arden and Jam CSU video for admin staff for Skype consultations. So within this short video we're going to look at the patient record aspect of SystmOne Skype consultations and what to look out for within the patient record. We're going to look at how to book a Skype appointment in SystmOne, and we're also going to have a look at how to add a Skype ID into a patient record from SystmOne. So to begin with, we're going to look at the patient documentation and the patient record within SystmOne. So within the GP practice themselves, the practice will have their own policy in place and their own versions of the Skype consultation patient consent forms. Those would have been completed by the patient and returned to the GP practice, whereby the GP practice will scan those consent forms into the patient record, just like they would any other documentation or letter. And so they would appear in the communications and letters part of the patient record. At that stage, the GP practice or the admin staff would also, during the scanning process, add a read code into the patient record to say that the patient has given consent for Skype consultations. So if we bring up a patient record and go into Minnie Mouse's record, this patient has already had the consent forms scanned in, and they would sit in communications and letters. They've already had their the read code added in, and the first thing to look out for is on the patient homepage. There is a little message to say that this patient is a Skype patient and they have given consent for Skype consultations. Also, in the top right hand corner, within the patient's demographics box, there is an identifiable icon, a patient status marker, which appears to make it clear to the surgery staff that this patient has given consent for Skype consultations. Now, moving forward, patients should not be offered any Skype appointments within the surgery unless they have returned the consent forms back. The consent forms have been scanned into the patient record and the relevant read codes added into the patient record. Therefore, if this icon doesn't appear in the patient record or the message doesn't appear on the patient homepage, no patient should be given a Skype appointment. So within this next section, we are going to look at how to book an appointment for a patient on SystmOne for a Skype consultation. There are obviously a number of different ways of booking appointments for a patient within SystmOne. However, the way that we suggest going into booking an appointment for Skype consultations would be to firstly retrieve the patient record. So if we go to search and find our patient and retrieve that patient record, the patient record is open in front of us. The reason we suggest that you open the patient record first of all is because it gives you the opportunity to check whether the patient has given consent for the Skype consultation from the home page and via this icon up here. Once we've retrieved the patient record, we're not going to check to see if the patient has a Skype ID entered into their patient record at this stage, but you could go in to check whether the patient has their Skype ID entered in. So whilst we've got the patient record open, we're going to go to the appointment screen, find the date of the appointment with the relevant clinician. Here we are presented with a basic clinic, and we can see that there are 2 video consultation slots to book our patient into. If we haven't got any video consultation slots available, what we can do is right click onto another slot, amend the slot, and change the slot to a video consultation slot and click OK. Please do not book any patients for Skype consultations in any appointment slots other than the video consultation slot. And then we proceed to book the appointment in the usual way by right-clicking, booking the appointment. And for this particular patient, it gives us a warning to say that the patient doesn't have a Skype ID address entered into their record. Are you sure you want to continue? We could say no and go into the patient record and add the Skype ID, or we could add it in this stage, but we're going to look at adding the Skype ID in the next section of this video. So we're just going to say yes. You're presented with the usual book new appointment screen. Complete as necessary, and then proceed to click OK. There, our patient is now booked into the video consultation slot and ready for the clinician to pick up that appointment and proceed with their Skype video consultation. Now that we've booked our appointment, our patient record is still open in the top right hand corner, so please be sure to either save or discard your patient record as appropriate. Within the last section of our video, we are going to have a look at how to add a Skype ID into the patient record. So to enter or amend the patient's Skype ID address, firstly we need to retrieve the patient record. And from the patient record we need to go to the administrative tree in the top left hand corner, and the first option is usually the patient details one at the top, and we move over to the right hand side and select the button that says record contact details. And at the bottom of that box we can see where it says Skype ID. Click your cursor into there and type in the patient's Skype ID as they have given it to you. And click OK and save the patient record.